All right, let's do it live on a Reaction Monday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. We're back, baby.
Hello. We're back. We're loving it. We're the talk of the National Football League. We are the Cats. Meow. I mean,
what a weekend, brother.
What a weekend. You said it, man. What a weekend indeed. This is great. This is exciting. This is fun. The Browns went out and executed on a plan, and I'll be honest with you, they executed their plan and ended up with a plan they didn't think was possible.
Yeah.
They did not think that it was possible in this draft to come away with Spencer Fano, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren.
No.
Impossibility. In fact, they thought about trading back into the first round to get Denzel Boston.
Yep.
They thought about trading back. Had he been taken, they would have thought about trading back into the first round for Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. And yet, they were able to get both of them in this draft. And the patience, the calm, as he said, he likes a sterile cockpit. He doesn't like a lot of emotional people in there, says Andrew Berry. He told me, I said, if I was invited into the draft room, you would tell me, go sit in that parking lot.
He would absolutely say,
I would not be
kindly
calm.
leave.
I mean, I was saying on the radio, I don't know if all you are driving around and you're being the father of the year that you are,
well, I don't know about
shuffling
that.
Your children around to a very great many sports
Yeah.
situations here. I don't know if you were listening at all, but we got Boston, and I was like, and I knew.
Yeah.
Not that I knew their board for sure, but I had a pretty good understanding and inkling that Boston and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren were the two apples of their eye, and they just hoped that one would make it to 39. I was ready once we got Boston to give up like both thirds. Let's just go get Emmanuel McNeil-Warren like right now.
Just be done with it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just make sure we get both of them, and then whatever happens after that, gravy, great.
Yep.
But let's do that. And he waited from 39 to 58, 19 picks. 19 picks. And now it wouldn't have been possible. Here's the other thing. You move back from 6 to 9, still get Spencer Fano, get that extra third that really is kind of tied into all the different moves you made that allowed you to not only go up and get Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, but get out, get a future fourth rounder, and then come back and get Austin Barber, who they were very excited about. So just an incredible, the patience to sit there and be like, yeah, you made it to 49. Just to understand, and that's where a lot of the stuff that they go into and talk to people around the league, get a sense of things. Incredible. Just this is one of those that if you can stack this, if this is as good as it appears, and you stack it on last year's, all of a sudden, man, think about this. Think about this nucleus on offense. These are the people I'm going to name are just on first or second year deals.
Yep.
Bond, Concepcion, Boston at receiver, and then, of course, you still have Jerry Jeudy, which we know 2 years ago was a Pro Bowler. Harold Fannin, now Joe Royer, you can add him to the mix. Mm-hmm. Quinshon Judkins, and Dylan Sampson. Yep. You have the potential for 6 people, Bond, Concepcion, Boston, Fannin, Judkins, Sampson, 6 people who are going to handle the ball, touch the ball a lot for you in a skill position standpoint on first or second year deals. First or second year deals.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and honestly, like
weapons.
Yeah, weapons. I mean, it was so thrilling to see it, and so I was
like a fever dream.
I was at U Sports, from Friday all the way until Sunday night. But one of the things and I'm following on my phone and trying to keep up with it and watching what I can, and one of those rare instances where I actually like technology.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. So I was listening to you guys on the draft show when we were going to and fro, and then we'd get to something, and if the kids weren't playing, I'd be watching, on the phone and kind of keeping an eye on everything that was happening. And I remember I think I said this in Columbus on Friday, and this was before I met Casey. But I said, I understand what Todd was thinking here and what AB was thinking with Casey Concepcion. I get the parallels to Zay Flowers. It adds up to me. I understand it completely. But at the same time, I really thought we needed a big outside receiver. I thought we needed somebody, and I said I probably would have went Boston there because I just thought we needed that. But I'm some schmuck on the radio. I'm not the general manager of the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
But that was what I was thinking was, boy, I love, and then you get to meet Casey and you're like, all right, I'm in. Like as likable a guy.
Yes.
And I have no doubt that it will that everything will translate, and I think he'll be used in that way, and he fits in very nicely and is about as easy a guy to root for. That's the other thing I told everybody on Friday when I was out and about. Like, you and I and Andrew, we all got a chance, and everybody here, we got a chance to meet Casey and obviously Spencer on Friday. They were here on the show, and I just came away like blown away with just their personalities, like what incredible type people they were. Just very likable, easy to root for. So it was like, oh, I get it. And I think when Spence was on, I go, gosh, that's just a culture tornado is what that guy is. Like, you just can't help but be in a good mood around him. But I'm okay. So by the time I get to Friday, I'm like, okay, got a tackle, best tackle in the draft, the lineman you wanted most. You got a big weapon that can play in the slot, can play outside, maybe a little bit in the return game, but maybe the twitchiest receiver in this draft.
Absolutely.
But I thought, we're probably not going to go back to the well for weapons because nobody ever listens to us. And so I get a text from you. And for whatever reason, at the moment you texted me, I had stopped paying attention to. I don't know what had happened, if I was in a conversation or whatever. But my phone starts going nuts, and I get a text from you, and I'm like, wait, what did you go? All it said is, we're back, baby. And I clicked on it. I'm like, what happened? And I clicked on, and I'm like, oh my God, how did we get Denzel Boston? How in the heck do we get Denzel Boston? And I heard you guys interview him, and he's such a cool dude. And then you get to, then all of a sudden, like, you think, okay, well, we've done it. I'm good. Like, what else do I need to? That's it. I got 2 starting receivers in my eye, and I got a starting left tackle in my eye. And then we were talking about Emmanuel McNeil-Warren on Friday with Dane. He was one of the guys we talked about. And, you and I had talked about Caleb Downs. All else fails, like, maybe just get Downs and play him with Delpit and don't worry about it. And not saying that Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is that type of player. He's actually quite a bit bigger than Caleb. But then all of a sudden, like, we come back in and get him. And it's like, hold on a second. Are you telling me, and we're always pretty intimately locked in with what Dane's board is, I'm saying, whoa, we just got 3 first-rounders with only using 1 first-round pick? When you think about Concepcion, Boston, McNeil-Warren, and obviously Fano too, you got 4 first-rounders with 2 first-rounders. So now a million things can happen between now and who knows if guys pan out. But, God, on the surface, this is a flipping home run, man. I mean, this is – you look at this thing, and your first 4 picks, to me, all feel like – I mean, they got to go earn it, but plug-and-play starters. Like, let's go.
I think that you got your left tackle right here. You have a starting wide receiver in 11 personnel. I think you have another – listen, you're going to have a mix in the wide receiver room because Bond is going to play a role. Judy's obviously still going to play a big role. But, I mean, you've got – yes, those guys are going to get plenty of opportunities. Warren is going to be a starter for you right away. And I'll tell you what, I think Parker Brailsford has a good chance to be your starting center.
Let's do this now real quick because I think sometimes we forget, the people jump in on a Monday and they're like, hey, what all happened? People get busy over the weekend. So I'm going to go through these picks. We talked about, obviously, the stuff from Friday, but not Barber. Haven't gotten to him yet. So let's kind of go through these and just kind of – I'll go through the guys, the bullet, and then you just give some thoughts that you have because I know you've been inundated with this.
Boy, I've done a lot of
work, brother. A lot of work. Let's start with Austin Barber. So we talked. So the way that the order went: Spencer Fano at 9, Casey Concepcion 24. That we handled on Friday. Boston, Denzel Boston, big 6'4", 215-pound wide receiver out of Washington. Honestly, for me, he was probably my 3rd favorite receiver in the whole draft. And I'll admit there's bias with that just because I saw him at Washington quite a bit, but I just loved him. I just buddy of mine's the play-by-play guy with Washington, and he just raved about him on the field and off. So I just thought that feels like that's a home run. So I had him 3rd in terms of receivers for me on the whole board. Then Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, 6'3", 210 out of Toledo. We've talked about him a little bit. Enlighten the folks a little bit if they missed it. This is a kid who could have got in the mix in the portal and probably made a pretty good lump of cash in the portal last year.
Yeah, and said, no, I'm going to stay at Toledo.
Yeah.
He absolutely could have gone in the portal, and that was one of the things the Browns mentioned that they liked about him, that loyalty. But this guy's forced 11 fumbles in his career, forced 11 fumbles. He has career 14 turnovers that he forced. 9 of them of those 11 forced fumbles led to takeaways, 5 picks as well. He is big. He is fast. He is physical. He can be around the line of scrimmage safety. He can be in the post. I mean, one of the great stories of this draft is that Coach Bondo made a Post-it note with a heart on it and wrote Emmanuel McNeil Warren in it with an arrow through it and put that on Andrew Barry.
Really?
Two of them, two in his office.
That's great.
And now he got him. I said to AB, I said, you better watch out. Now you might end up with a lot of Post-it notes because that seemed to work pretty well. But we're talking about this is somebody the Browns, depending on how the board had fallen, would have considered taking at 24.
Mm-hmm.
This is number 15 on Daniel Jeremiah's big board. The Browns in this draft got 4 of Daniel Jeremiah's, I think, top 24 and 4 of Dane's top 26.
That's crazy.
Ever since they started doing that consensus board, which is getting there's a lot of talk about the consensus board now, which is kind of an amalgamation of all the industry expert mock drafts. The Browns are the first one, and I saw this from Cleve TA, but 2018 was the first year they did that, the consensus big board. The Browns are the first team ever in a draft since then. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 9 drafts that have 4 of the top 32 consensus players.
Yeah. Wow.
In a single draft.
That's tough to wrap your head around.
It's great. Here's another fun one for you, courtesy of Siciliano. The Browns are the first team since the New York Football Jets in 1996, so the first team in 30 years to take 2 wide receivers in the top 40 in the same draft.
Wow.
And that was
we needed it.
That was Keyshawn Johnson, and Van Dyke was the name of the other receiver.
Was he
Alex,
at Pitt?
I don't know about that, but Alex Van Dyke, I think.
Or there was a quarterback named that too.
Those were the two.
Those are the
anyway,
two.
So
Yeah,
30
yeah,
years. Gerard knew right away because that was his draft class.
Oh, so
he got the Van. He didn't get the second part of the name right, but he was right. He was spot on it. So yeah, this is pretty good. But so those are that's your top 4 there, and McNeil Warren, obviously your first defensive player. And think about this: 10 picks in the draft, 8 on offense, which is music to our ears.
Yep.
You get 2 tackles, a center, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, a quarterback, which we'll get to in a second, and then defensively you get Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and then you get a linebacker as well with a very popular name, which leads to a very fun moment that we had during the broadcast. But
so let's go with the next 2. So you get Austin Barber, the tackle out of Florida, at pick 86, and then you mentioned this Parker Brailsford, the center out of Alabama.
Yeah, so Austin Barber, big tackle, 6'7", 318 pounds. The Browns think he could maybe be guard as well. 3rd-team All-SEC, 25 starts at left tackle over the past 2 years. Just good athlete, was a basketball player in high school, good feet. They like him, and he's physical, and he is violent. Now, obviously, if he was a perfect prospect, he goes in the first round.
Yep.
Things to work on, his bend. Sometimes are things that they look at, his feet. Sometimes we'll see. But he is mean, and he is fired up. I don't know if you saw the video of when we called him. He was
ready to go.
Oh, like Todd Monken. There were some choice words and just some real passion there. So they get him, and they're excited about that. And then that's in the 3rd round. They trade back in the 3rd round. The Browns don't have a 4th-round pick, but they had a ton at the beginning of the 5th round before they started making moves again. And the first one they took is Parker Brailsford, who was the starting center at Alabama, was at Washington before that, was a 2nd-team All-Pac-12 in 23 there, 3rd-team All-SEC in 25 at Alabama. He made Bruce Feldman's Freaks list. So this guy's 6'2", 290, 33-inch vertical, 9.5-foot broad jump. Hit 19.5 miles an hour on the GPS. He has the fastest 10-yard split of any offensive lineman in this draft at 1.7 seconds. Benched over 500 pounds, squatted nearly 700. So we are talking about, while not as tall as maybe ideal, somebody who is powerful, strong, gets off the ball, athletic. You can run center pulls with him. He gets to the 2nd level very well. And like Fano, who was a team captain as a tackle, this guy was a team captain at Alabama as a center.
Yeah.
So he has clearly the respect of his peers and an intrinsic leadership to him. Technically sound. I think this is a guy that I think if you were to poll people, then they said, okay, who's the guy, a day 3 guy that's going to be an immediate starter for us? I think they would think Parker Brailsford certainly could fit that bill. So this is somebody who is really athletic, strong, and somebody that they are very excited about being able to get, because center is the one thing. Now you got a world where you could have Brailsford at center, and he'll compete obviously with Luke Whippler.
Yep.
And then Elton Jenkins. But I think ideally they'd like to have Brailsford at center. They'd like Elton Jenkins and Zion Johnson to be the guards, and then now you've got Spencer Fano, Titus Howard as the tackles. And backups would be DeJuan Jones and then Austin Barber that you drafted. So at the tackle position. So I think that's their ideal. And then at the guard position, you'd have the backups. You have Tevin Jenkins, Zach Zinner. And then at the center position, you have the backup of, Whippler or
Brailsford.
Brailsford, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's their ideal. By the way, this kid went to Swaru High School, Scottsdale, which has produced quite a few pros, by the way, because it's a pretty nice place, I've been imagining, for people to live and retire. So that's who you get there in the 5th round. You go back with an Alabama teammate right after that. Do we have the video? This is a good time to show it. Is that possible?
The video that you've been talking about?
Yeah, because this is when we drafted him.
Dr. J, are you ready?
Yeah, this is the announcement of this. We're in the 5th round. This is going viral, by the way. This has about 400,000 views on TikTok already.
All right, let's go. Do you have it, Dr. J?
He's got. Cleveland Browns have acquired Justin Jefferson.
The Alabama linebacker.
That was a dramatic pause. I was going to say that the Cleveland Browns have acquired Justin Jefferson. Dr. J in the back.
The Alabama linebacker.
And then Siciliano steps all over it. He steps all over it.
Oh,
I know, because at the end I said it was going to be a dramatic pause. I was going to acknowledge it was the linebacker.
Even 2 more beats.
Yeah.
Just 2 more beats.
Yeah. Dr. J, glasses off.
Come on. What?
We got Justin Jefferson. And we did get Justin Jefferson.
Poor Dr. J's just doing his work.
So Dr. J was doing some other stuff during the commercial break. So when he sat down, I'm like, he has no idea this is coming. This is going to be really good.
Oh, my God. Is Dr. J back there?
Yeah.
Dr. J, get on the mic. When did, take us through your head.
Yeah, so when I had, like Gibbe said, I was in there with them, and they were talking about it, but they said no names.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, who are they talking about?
Yeah.
So then I went and sat down, and we got to announcing some things, and Nathan teeing us up, so I'm like, acquired. And he had mentioned that. That was I think that was his second time mentioning that. So I was like, who we done acquired? And Justin Jefferson. So I'm looking at.
I said the Cleveland Browns have acquired Justin Jefferson.
Like,
and then I have a big pause. Dr. J, glasses off. What? Big pause, and then we see 2 more beats. Siciliano, the Alabama. I was like, it was a dramatic pause, brother. I was gonna say that. We were having fun. It was on a Saturday here, but the Browns do get Justin Jefferson, the linebacker from Alabama, 6 foot, 223 pounds. This guy, very cool story. So. Comes from, and he said this many times, got to talk to him. He was one of my favorite guys that I got to talk to.
Yeah.
Comes from humble beginnings, grew up in Memphis. Humble beginnings, he said that many, many times, and he said that he was the youngest in his family with 2 older sisters who used to just beat on him all the time as a kid. And so he's like, I have no problem putting a whooping on anybody now. I was getting whooped for a lot of my life there. So he starts his career at Pearl River Community College.
Wow.
Okay. He then becomes the number 2 JUCO prospect in the country.
Yep.
Coming out of Pearl River. He's got offers. You name it, they offered him. He ends up choosing Alabama, Nick Saban. So his first year there was with Nick Saban. But I'm to LSU, Texas, all these places.
Yep.
He doesn't really become a starter until the last year there when he takes over for, why is his name escaping me? The guy who was drafted by the other, Jihad Campbell.
Okay.
Was the starter ahead of him. He goes in the NFL last year. I think it was a first-round pick or an early second. I think he was a first-round pick because Carson was the second linebacker taken, and becomes the starter there. Not the biggest guy, as I said, 6 foot, 223, but they see a lot in him. This guy can run, cover, plays physical at the line. I mean, he's a
thumper,
physical guy, but not a thumper body, but like a will linebacker body. So
hitter.
He's a hitter, no doubt.
Hitter.
You think of what JOK was in this defense. Mm-hmm. You think about what. Devin Bush was last year, again, a smaller guy. Think about Quincy Williams, who is an undersized linebacker in this defense with Rudy, was a first-team All-Pro with the Jets. That's the profile, and he immediately is like, I can't wait to get on special teams because you get to hit somebody every single play. Like I enjoyed talking. This guy is a dude. Man. This is a dude.
Tarv's gonna love him.
Oh, Tarv was very happy.
Yeah.
We didn't get the guy from my high school, my alma mater, who's now the first person to ever be drafted from Monroe Catholic High School, Caleb Elam Arms, who was Elarms Orr, who was the linebacker from TCU. I think Denver took him in the 4th.
Buffalo,
thank you.
Yep.
Buffalo took him in the 4th. And then we got Jefferson, and those were the guys that I know we had our eyes on for that athletic linebacker. So you get him, then you go and get a former Buckeye who then went down to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that name.
Joe Royer transferred due to the tragic, unexpected death of his best friend and mother, and so he moves from Ohio State where he really hadn't been able to stay healthy, goes down to Cincinnati, and he's got 6'5", 250. He can really do it all. Will be a perfect kind of tight end number 2. Dawson Knox is a guy he gets compared to a lot. Who is a very solid player, role player for the Buffalo Bills. He was 2-time first-team All-Big 12. In 2024, caught 50 passes, which is a single-season school record at the University of Cincinnati for receptions by a tight end, beating that of...
What was that now? Kelsey?
That's right, beating Travis Kelsey's 45. Doesn't drop the football. Just a very good, reliable player. And then they bring in Carson Ryan at the end, also at tight end, out of BYU. Good athlete. They think that he has an opportunity. He's 6'3", 6'4", 250, that he could maybe be. He's a good blocker. Could he be kind of a fullback, H-back, as well as a pure tight end? So started his career at UCLA, transferred to Utah, then to BYU. He's got good hands as well, solid blocker. Last year, 45 catches, 620 yards, 3 touchdowns. So they bring him in as well.
Every box that needed to be checked was checked.
Yep.
You needed tight ends, you got them. You needed offensive line, you got 3 of them. You needed weapons, you got them. You needed a linebacker. Everything is checked here. That in terms of what you needed a safety, you got them. And then you get kind of a lottery ticket with the quarterback in the 6th round, Taylon Green out of Arkansas. Now, you will recall this, our audience may not. We were at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis, and I'm pretty sure it was Charles Davis who we were having a conversation with, and we're asking about quarterbacks, later round ones. And I'm pretty sure he's the one who mentioned
him
by name and said, if I had picked one guy other than the top that I like the makeup of and the physical stuff with, and he mentioned him.
6'6", 230 pounds. He ran a 4.36 40. He has a vertical of 43.5 and broad jumped 11 feet 2 inches.
It's crazy.
He is the number 1 since they started doing the RAS score. He's the number 1 quarterback ever.
Yep.
So this is a guy, and he will be a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, that I think even if he never is able to refine what he needs to do, will always be able to have a package of plays. You'll always be able to have something in your arsenal where he is a weapon for you. This guy last year led the FBS in 24-25 in plays of more than 10 yards and plays of more than 20 yards. He can throw the ball 75 yards. High character guy. Plays through pain. Physical. Game-changing runner. So think about, what does Todd Monken know? What does George Warhop know?
Yep.
Run schemes that they employed with Lamar Jackson. I would expect that there will be a package of plays at some point. This guy's Joe Milton, but bigger and more perhaps raw talent than Joe Milton had.
I don't even know that that's fair, buddy. This guy played 3 years at Boise State, then 2 years in the SEC at Arkansas. I'm going to give you his stats against the best teams they played at Arkansas last year. And obviously understand there are things to work on. They play Ole Miss, and Arkansas was one of the least talented teams in the SEC last year. They get Ole Miss in week 3 of the season. They lose, and they lost their last 10 games. I mean, they just didn't have much of a team. They play Ole Miss in the 3rd game of the year. He goes 22 of 35 for 305, a touchdown. He runs for another 115 and another. Ole Miss was in the semifinals of the college football playoff. Then he's got Notre Dame. They get bombed again, 17 of 32, 207. Again, runs for another 81. In the Tennessee game, 12th ranked Tennessee, they lose 34-31. He's 21 of 31, 256, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Ran for another 63 and another touchdown. How about Texas A&M? Pretty good team last year. They were a playoff team. They lose 45-41. He goes 19 of 32, 256, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Ran 12 times for 85 yards. The reason I bring this up is this is playing the best opponents that he can play in one of the toughest conferences in football. This isn't stat padding. These are competitive games where he's lifting his team up.
Oh, yeah.
It's an incredible ball of clay to work with.
That's exactly right.
But it's not Anthony Richardson, like 1-year starter. It's not that. He's played a lot of football.
It might even be that good of a ball of clay, though, and Anthony Richardson went in the first round.
He went top 5. Yeah, and so No, I mean it's 3 years at Boise State, and then he's a 2-year starter at Arkansas. He started the last 2 years at Arkansas. 31-54 as a junior, 15 touchdowns, 9 picks.
37 turnovers the last 2 years, which is one of the knock. But you know what? He
puts it on the ground
big
fumbling.
plays.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because he's got 20 picks.
So 17 fumbles lost.
Yeah, so that's a little bit concerning there. But good Lord, he ran for nearly 800 yards last year and 8 touchdowns.
Yes.
He's playing
he's
a lot of football
6'6".
at quarterback, and he's a big guy. Yeah.
So
That's
again,
fun.
this is pie in the sky. So much would have to go right for this to ever be a thing. But I do believe here that we're talking 6'6", 436, can throw the ball out of the building. Todd Monken, you give him with Todd Monken, like, let's see what happens here. It's just a lot. It's a complete lottery ticket.
Of course.
But unlike if you took a lottery ticket prototypical quarterback, this is a guy that can have packages for you that
Yes,
can
he can
impact
play.
the game, even if he is not playing for you regularly.
It just occurs to me, we have, like, just from a body type, play type, 4 completely different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They are just completely
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
In terms of their makeup.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, they're completely different. But I think your last point's the great one on him. Long-term developmental play, who knows? Lottery ticket, let's see. In the meantime, that's a weapon.
Yeah, like if this guy turns into Josh Allen, he's got the gifts to do so. I'm not suggesting that he is.
No,
I think
of
it's
course
probably like less than 5%
Sure,
that he does.
sure.
But there aren't many people that even have a 5% chance of becoming a Josh
No.
Allen type. You know, and Josh Allen early in his career wasn't as accurate, turned the football over a ton, and they were able to rein all those things in. Now, he was a first-round pick. Obviously, he was regarded completely differently than Taylon Green is. But I'll tell you this, I think the preseason watching this guy is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Siciliano, I thought Gibbe said Jalen Green cornerback. He said Taylon Green quarterback. This was the pick that happened as we were going off the air. Like we didn't even get
done for
we
the
didn't
day.
get to
It
announce
happened
it.
at 4:01.
It happened literally 30 seconds after we wrap.
That's right.
Siciliano's going nuts, like absolute bonkers nuts. He's so excited about it, and he's like, the preseason's going to be so fun. The preseason's going to be so fun. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. Everybody says great young man, 2-time bowl game MVP.
Gosh almighty, buddy. Like, he started as he was a Mountain West Freshman of the Year.
Yeah.
So he redshirts at Boise State in 21, then he's the Mountain West Freshman of the Year, then plays the second year, then becomes kind of the guy that everyone was, one of those guys everybody was coveting. And the wins weren't there at Arkansas the way that I think that they wanted, but it was not on him
Certainly not.
necessarily.
No.
So they, that's fun.
Productive, exciting, and we'll see. A complete lottery ticket now. And this draft profile, which is NFL.com, says draft range 4 to 5. Obviously, Browns get him in the first pick of the 6th round. We'll see. But, yeah, that's a fun one. He's a name that, I remember Charles Davis said it. Somebody else.
It was Charles, wasn't it?
I believe you're right. There was somebody that was on the TV that I don't remember either that they just said, he goes, this is the one guy that if everything goes right and you're patient with him, that maybe in 3 years down the line, he could be the guy.
Yeah, the measurables are
Again,
undefeated.
Highly likely that never
Yeah,
materializes, but could he stay in the league like a Taysom Hill and have a role for your football team for a long time? Absolutely.
I mean, the other guy, just from a measurable standpoint that comes to mind is Terrell Pryor.
Yep.
I mean, I know he's a quarterback here, but Pryor was a quarterback at Oakland and then came here and
1,000 yards. He had a 1,000 yard season.
235
Great Al
pounds.
Saunders converted him.
Yeah. 6'6", 235, great athlete.
Yep.
Let's see. And all Terrell ever did was play. People don't give him enough credit for that. He's almost like a forgotten player in Columbus and everywhere, but and it's not right.
No.
But what I would say is, this wasn't a situation where this guy was like an athlete playing quarterback. All Terrell Pryor had ever done is be the quarterback. Always, his whole life. And in the NFL, he switched to receiver.
And had a 1,000
And had a
yard
1,000-yard season. Crazy. This is fun. This is a really fun draft weekend. Those are your Hot Topics today, presented by University Hospital, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. You'll hear some of the highlights, what Andrew Berry, Todd Monken thought of their draft. That is coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. And we're fun. You're a fan of the Valley Book Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Let's hear from the men most responsible. AB, the general manager, and the great Todd Monken. Lots over the last 3 days. Let's start with Thursday night. Here is AB on how concerned he was after he moved back to 9 that another team might come up and grab Spencer Fano.
That's part of the risk, Scott. When we were on the clock at 6, what I told the room is, hey, there are really kind of 3 guys left that, we'd be elated with, if we had to sit and pick. Moving back 3 spots and having an idea of where Kansas City was going, we knew we were going to get one of those 3 guys. We also felt the teams behind us, Washington, they extended Tunsil. They drafted Josh Connerly in the first round last year. New Orleans, they drafted Kelvin Banks, at 9 last year, and then Fuaga the year before that. So we felt pretty comfortable that a tackle wasn't going to go unless a team traded into it. But if one did, we felt good with the group of players that were in front of us.
Let's piggyback on this one. Here is AB from Thursday night and the importance in taking a lineman who can get physical and be nasty.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about Spencer is you look at how, scheme transcendent he's been, because what they did in 24 versus 25 was a lot different in terms of how they structured the run game, how they did, pass pro. And you can see him move, you can see him maul. I think he's very gifted and very versatile in that regard. And, don't be fooled by his kindness when you meet him. Have you guys Zoomed with him already? Yeah, don't be fooled by his kindness. He's nasty on the field.
He's about as kind of dude as gregarious.
I like it.
Quite honestly, I know that the role is already filled with The Rock, but he could absolutely do the live action Moana.
Oh, yeah.
He's ready.
He's got
to
some
go.
Maui to him, no doubt. Yeah.
The hair, the joy, all of it. He's got all of that in there, and it's been.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna. Boy, that'll get in your head, won't it? So rookie minicamp for us is Friday. When is it this week?
It's not this week.
Oh, it's next.
Yeah, I think it's May 8th. Is that?
I think it's the Friday,
I
Saturday, and
think
then
it was this
Sunday of
week.
Mother's Day. It's always Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'd like it to be this coming weekend.
Yeah, right. Okay, there you go. So you get a look at, we'll get a bigger look at him then. But he was awesome here in the building on Friday, bouncing around and fresh off his private jet and all that came with that. So that was very, very cool. All right, we get into the second round, and this is where this thing really jumps up a notch, and it starts with Denzel Boston available at pick number 39. Nobody thought this was possible. Here's your head coach, Todd Monken, Friday on why they went with Denzel Boston at 39.
Well, I just think you have to keep adding to the room best you can. You're trying to raise the floor. I mean, ultimately, in any position group, you start by raising the floor and developing who you have. And that started this past week. So it just turned out the way the draft unfolded. And Andrew, again, can speak to this. And when we got to, the spot that we had at 7 would be actually 39, but today's 7. We did have opportunities, and Andrew speak to it, to move back. But we really thought at that pick, take Denzel.
He's just a stud. He's a stud. You guys are going to love him.
I'm
Here's
so excited.
I know, me too. Here's our AB on Friday on the approach of taking 2 wide receivers back to back.
We did have scenarios where, because of the strength of the receiver class and the depth of it, that we thought we could take 2 receivers relatively high. Definitely doesn't feel like a departure. It's maybe a little bit what I mentioned to Fred earlier, where I think if you look at the past couple years, we had Jarvis and Odell. We traded for Amari, who was a Pro Bowl receiver for us, and then had him on a big money extension. We then traded for Jerry, who was a Pro Bowl receiver for us. And then, I was actually even thinking this one didn't maybe work out quite as cleanly, but even the years where we were short first-round picks, one of those trades was for Elijah Moore, and then, trading down from 2 for Elijah Moore, and then taking 7-3. So there's no philosophical thing there. It's obviously easier to maybe dictate the room a little bit more when you have your full slate of resources.
I mean, you're talking about 6'4", 210. So on Denzel Boston. So he is what the doctor ordered in terms of on the outside. Then you get just another incredible blessing from the football gods. We'll take all of them. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, who you alluded to this earlier, is a first-round talent, top 25 player on most of the boards. Here's Todd on Friday on his thoughts on Emmanuel McNeil-Warren.
Length, speed, tough. That's it. I mean, he's got great length, excellent speed, and he'll hit the heck out of you. I mean, that's 3 pretty good characteristics of a safety.
Yeah, and then
yes,
he's
they
pretty
are
formidable.
Yep,
on that back end now.
It's going to be fun, and Coach Bond is very excited about it. And, with Rocket and Grant and now Emmanuel McNeil Warren, there's so many things that we can do in this defense and ways that we can align and things that we're able to disguise and show, and we're fast and we're long. You had another 6'4" guy out there who's long and fast. That is a good thing in these, what they call these positionless defenses. That's a good thing.
And just so you guys understand, just from a size perspective at safety, just think of it this way. He's basically an avatar for Grant Delpit.
Yep.
You know how big Delpit looks back there? Now there'll be two of them.
Yep.
They're both 6'3", they're both 210. So that's incredible length on the back end of your defense. So that was very, very cool. A lot of attention. We gave some to it in the last segment about the quarterback who was added. Here's AB on Saturday on why he wanted to add another quarterback to the room.
Yeah, well, part of it you needed to get through. I mean, look, we lived it firsthand last year, right? We do believe in keeping, 3 on the active roster and ideally a 4th on the practice squad. But, it's an important position. There is, attrition throughout the year. And I think also it's never a problem to have too many good players. Sometimes it's not a linear path in terms of how they positively impact the roster of the organization. It may not always be on field, but, we're going to try and make as many calculated bets as we can and, take steps from there.
And here is AB. He was asked if this was the Browns' final quarterback room addition for the season.
Yes. You know what? Let me back up. I should have learned I've learned the hard way not to say anything definitively. The current plan is that we would roll with those 4. I can't predict if something else comes up. So yes, that would be the intention.
It's pretty good out of him to catch himself mid line.
Right, because you said this. Hey, you don't know.
No,
you never know what the phone rings, and you never know what somebody's going to say. So I like it.
Yeah, and so when we get to that rookie minicamp, this is going to be a fun rookie minicamp, man.
Yeah.
Big
Found
kid with
the
big
shadiest spot out there. Don't worry. Got you covered again.
You got us covered, buddy. You got us
50
covered.
degrees in that one spot. You'll be fine.
That a baby Gibby.
So there you go. Look, it was awesome. It was awesome, and you hear from Todd and you hear from AB on both of those things, and we'll get our first look at these guys in a couple of weeks. All right, still much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, official dog fan club of the Cleveland Browns, is back for a brand new season. We're celebrating our 5-year anniversary. This season fetches a refreshed premium pup kit packed with tail wagging goodies, plus some new events for you and your four-legged MVP. Head to barkingbackers.com and join today. You know what I'm going to say. All right.
I'm going to tell you right now.
The
script was far worse. I cleaned it up.
Okay. All right, kids. Let's go.
Let's
hear
go.
what some of the national folks have to say. Let's start with Steve Smith and James Palmer breaking down the Denzel Boston tape.
Denzel Boston. He was 4 on your initial big board, Steve, and the more calls I make around the NFL, he may be the 4th receiver taken in this draft. There's a lot to like about the 6'4 receiver out of Washington. These guys are all different flavors in this draft, right?
Yes,
there's
they
the big
are.
body group of guys, there's the slot guys. We break them all down here on 89. There's certain traits that really flash to a lot of evaluators I talk to. We'll get to it, but you had him at 4 right from the start. Do you think he's still there for you as you've dove deeper into Denzel Boston's film?
I think he's still there.
He feels kind of safe, Steve, honestly. There's a
He
little
is
bit of a
safe.
safe feel to him. Yeah.
But I tell you what he's safe is he's safe in regards of you know what you're going to get.
Yes, that's what
You're
I'm saying.
going to get a 6'4", 209, 210-pound red shirt junior. He was a big-time recruit coming into Washington. And what I love to see with this big-time recruit is he didn't leave because the competition was better than him. What he did is he sat and learned what to do and how to do it. And there has been some guys like a Jeremy Bernard who was also on this roster as well with him who transferred out. And Denzel Boston, he never transferred out. He stayed the course, and he's now reaping the benefits. And I believe that Denzel Boston is really climbing up some people's boards in regards of he's staying exactly where they are. He's not falling down. He's not rising. People are not talking about him because they don't want people to start looking at his film. First of all, he's right here. He's going to go in motion, right? And then he's going to get a mismatch, but he takes such a good time. He does such a good job of taking his time, but he doesn't rush it, right? So right now, he looks like, boom, he's going to run in this angle because of the way his body is shaped. And a defender right here believes it's the same thing. Look at that. He opens up the defender, so he runs either it's called a mesa, a whip, an under, dagger, looky, whatever you're feeling like. This guy opens up this way. He gives him that motion, but he's not sloppy. Straight line. Boom. Look at that.
Is it hard, Steve? A lot of people want to take that too far upfield. Do you want to come straight across?
Or some
right?
people take it upfield so much that they get a little sloppy, and then they have to put their foot in the ground so tough that now all of a sudden they have to raise up.
Gotcha.
So that's why I love that. 6'4", 210 pounds, and he's over there running routes like a little jitterbug. I love that. Now, this is a great play right here for me because it just summarizes exactly what I said. Bring your big boy pass. Don't come out here and start just doing a little small stuff. Look. Boy, if you don't, you look at him. Look. Yep.
Talking again.
Had to. You had to. Most guys, they're going to go out of bounds. Ball's in the right hand.
Decleats this dude.
Yes, sir. Go tell your mama and your pappy. Mr. Boston is in there. Mama, there go that man again.
Steve. That's so good. So good. There were their thoughts on Denzel Boston, who we had in the top of the second round. Now, this from the Underdog Fantasy Podcast, NFL draft expert Josh Norris and Hayden Winks on the Browns
Big
draft
fans.
overall.
Cleveland Browns, one of the teams with 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. And, man, they stuck to consensus board. Let's go through it. Spencer Fano, 9th overall. They added 2 mid-round picks to move back from 6 to 9, and they take him with Todd Monken already saying he's going to play left tackle and no other position. Then at 24th overall, Casey Concepcion, our favorite wide receiver, one of them out of Texas A&M. Then in round 2, back-to-back wide receivers, 39th overall, Denzel Boston, the towering man out of Washington. And then the falling safety in Emmanuel McNeil Warren at 58th overall. Austin Barber, the tackle, closes out their day 2 selections. And then going into day 3, Parker Brailsford, Justin Jefferson, the linebacker out of Alabama, and close things out with Cincinnati tight end Joe Royer, the supremely athletic quarterback in Taylon Green, and Carson Ryan, another tight end. Your grade for the Browns is what?
A+. I think it was the best draft there was. Keep in mind, this was the best draft class last year. So Andrew Berry, a little bit on the heater here, if I can throw that out there. The Spencer Fano selection was really savvy. The Saints and the Commanders were picking right after him. You trade down, get some extra assets, knowing that Spencer Fano, who was their target the entire time, was going to be available. So you like that move. Kick him over to left tackle. I think that he absolutely can do that. One of my comps was Rashawn Slater, who has like almost the exact same athletic and size skill set as Fano does. Obviously, Slater's completely hit, and we'll see if Fano can do that. But there's upside there. I don't think it's that crazy to think that he could be just their left tackle of the future. We both love Casey Concepcion. I think Denzel Boston as a 39th overall pick is completely factoring in that he's not a really fast player, and he's a good asset for them because he's like the exact opposite of Casey Concepcion in Jerry Jeudy. So he's probably gonna be a rotational player and a blocker for them, but he's their X in 3 wide receiver sets. And then Emmanuel McNeil Warren, I didn't like him as a round 1 player. I ranked him 41st. Right. He goes 58th. So I don't know exactly why he fell so far, but at 58th overall, he's going to get in the mix. He's going to be really lengthy, working over the middle, kind of a gambler type at safety, but that's a fun player to have when you have like Schlesinger, who's always on plan. And then you got like obviously their defensive line creates all that pressure with Myles Garrett. So like him roaming the middle with quarterbacks under pressure, like he's going to pick off a bunch of passes over his career.
And I believe Grant Delpit is in his contract year as well. So it's like succession planning on top of this. Yeah, credit to you. I mean, you had Emmanuel McNeil Warren as your 41st overall player, and he's consensus at 23rd overall. Andrew Berry said they went through thousands of mock drafts, and not a single time was Emmanuel McNeil Warren available at 58th overall. Just a couple more notes because I go and watch these press conferences on day 3. There's a lot to get into here with the Browns. If that doesn't earn a subscription to this channel or at least a thumbs up, let's get 1,000 likes for this video. Nothing does, because Todd Monken came over. A lot of people are comparing Casey Concepcion to Zay Flowers. He said, I can see some of the similarities. Andrew Berry said, but let's not forget Casey's much bigger. Like, I think people forget how big Casey Concepcion, 6 foot, nearly 200 pounds. That's a much different frame than we're talking about here. And Berry said that, quote, I hope we draft you, but if not, I hope you're in the NFC because we don't want to face you on a weekly basis. Also, very, and I mean very few. I wouldn't be surprised if we set a record for the fewest amount of 2027 selections that changed hands during the draft. The Browns got an extra 2027 4th round pick for the 148th overall pick in this class from the Seattle Seahawks. So that's even more ammunition.
Nice.
And shoot, you might have a 3rd round talent in this year's class be a 4th round talent in next year's class on top of that. And then finally on Denzel Boston, because I would love for you to talk about the comparison and the complementary pieces that Concepcion and Boston are here. Tom Monken said, we do not have someone at his size in our wide receiver room. We wanted a size mismatch, especially someone in the red zone. So I love that Todd Monken reviewed all the tape from the Browns offense, looked at that wide receiver room and said, nope, I'm going to fix that in one offseason.
Yeah, and that was a big point of emphasis we had all week about the 27 ones, that no chance, not even picks in 2027.
There were 3 draft picks in the 2027 draft that were traded. We got 2 of them.
Yeah, that's
2 4th rounders. So we'll have 3 4th rounders next year. We have 2 5th rounders as well. So we're going to have this ability that other teams aren't going to have as it sits right now to move. That's how you can maybe get back into the 2nd round from the 3rd with those 4ths. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. I think if you're Andrew Berry, that even next year you're going to have the ability to move up and down the draft board as we saw him do this year. And I love what they said at the end that Todd Monken said, listen, no, we got to get this done. I thought Glenn Cook was great at the podium on Friday after the Denzel Boston pick, and he's like, Coach Monken is very direct and clear in what he wants, and what he wanted were weapons, and
Let's go.
He got it. Let's go, baby. We love that.
Love that. Love that. All right, this one, Nate Tice on the Yahoo Draft Show. Remember, we took Austin Barber in the 3rd round, the big tackle out of Florida. Z talked about the violence in his game, the size, the strength, all the things that come with it. Here is Nate Tice on that.
I really like Austin Barber.
You're down 1 minute.
I think I am quite literally the highest person on him. I had him at 46 on my big board.
Oh, wow.
I liked him before the season.
46?
Yes. No, I really like him. First off, he's bigger than I was anticipating, like very good size. I thought it was a nice mover. Got a lot of penalties. I thought sometimes he can get caught when he's trying to recover and his hands can get askew, but he's played both sides, started a good amount of games, has some injury stuff, but he could legit hang on the left side because he has length, he has quick feet, and I thought his technique was fine enough. And so I think at worst, he could be a really good swing tackle for you, but he might potentially start down the road for you. They're kind of getting their, speaking of best 5, they're okay, all right, Spencer Fano, we're going to try you at left tackle. If Fano, I wouldn't be shocked. I'll say this right now. I'm not going to go hot take. If Fano ends up somewhere else, not left tackle, and Barber ends up the long-term left tackle, would not be shocked if that actually ends up for the Browns. But Browns have killed it, man.
Yeah, they've had a really nice draft.
These are all players I really like, and they're getting them at great spots. I really like this pick. Again, I had him as a top 50 guy.
Really important, and not just the ones we picked. I mean, this is Dane, Mel, everybody. I mean, it's
across the board.
Yeah, it really is.
And now it just needs
How
to
did we
turn
do
into
that
that
at the same time?
Because we're big D's.
That's right. Finally, here is Charles McDonald, Matt Harmon, and Nate Tice, and Jason Fitz on the Yahoo Draft Show talking about the Browns' new wide receiver additions.
As a wide receiver guy, Harmon.
Yeah.
What combination work?
These are two, again, we were talking about the different flavors at the wide receiver position. These two guys could not be more different flavors. Denzel Boston, this big hulking perimeter receiver, and then Casey Concepcion, the smaller separator, speed player who can do a lot with the ball in his hands. The good thing is, though, I think these two guys can also be slightly interchangeable. Because Casey Concepcion is, in my opinion, the best press beater in the class, you can credibly line him up on ball and ask him to win against press man coverage and do sort of the X-receiver role. And Denzel Boston, because his best routes are those crossers, the digs, the in-breakers, you can line him up off ball and allow these two guys to move around. And if you watch Todd Monken's offense in Baltimore, that is what they did with a lot of these guys, especially Zay Flowers, who's a common comparison for Casey. They want to move him all over the formation, but they kind of lack that tough, physical, on-ball, blocking receiver, contested catch guy in that Ravens receiver room the last few years. That's who Denzel Boston can be. And again, if you just look at the Browns wide receiver depth chart, their current wide receiver one entering this weekend, Jerry Jeudy, he can really only do a couple of things, a small handful of things at the wide receiver position. Now you've got two guys who can do a lot of different things, really expanded roles, and they're both, in my opinion, more reliable from they're going to be in the right places at the right time. That's never really been Jerry Jeudy's game, and unfortunately Cedric Tillman hasn't been able to stay healthy.
This is why you take the offensive lineman first.
Yes. Then you can do the fun
Then you can do the fun stuff.
You can have dessert.
Because what offensive tackles on the board here?
None.
None.
You're reaching for whatever guy you want. Yep.
All right, there you go. The plan came together, as they used to say on the A-team.
They got it right. The game theory, they got it right going receiver first, even though we wanted to. And listen, the reality is Carnell Tate was off the board. And that's who we wanted at 6 anyway, so that's not even an option for the Cleveland Browns. He'll be a Tennessee Titan with Cam Ward. But they executed on their plan as well as you possibly could have. The board fell to them in a way that they never even imagined. And so now it's for these guys that are – prospects to become football players. And if they are the football players that, the Browns believe they can be, this is going to be unbelievable.
And it does – no one knows what the future holds, but it is nice when people say nice things about you. And last year they did, and that draft class backed it up. And this year they are. And let's see if this draft class can back it up as well. Second hour of the program coming up next. We kick it off with your weekend headlines. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. For the ultimate Browns gear, head to the Browns Pro Shop, a Fanatics experience right next to Huntington Bank Field. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, collectibles, exclusive merch you're not going to find anywhere else. Shop in store, online at shop.clevelandbrowns.com. The Browns Pro Shop, official merch for true Browns fans. Remember, too, like if speaking of jerseys, none of these guys can be official. I mean, like we print Casey's in 17 and Fano's in 55, right? Did I see that? And then I don't know if the other guys have done it on their social or whatever, but until they're signed, if you go on the site, if you go on like clevelandbrowns.com, look at the roster, what number, they won't have anything assigned yet. I don't believe that they do because they're not signed yet. Yeah. So that's something to be wary of.
One other thing with rookies, you should always maybe wait a year.
Wait.
At least wait till final roster. I mean, we have that with Shedeur going from 12 to 2.
Well, Isaiah Bond, it looks like it's going to 0.
I saw that.
I like that. I like that. 00.
Be pretty crazy
0,
if you
0,
would have went like 0, like 00.
That would be cool. And then a little small 7 on there.
That would be pretty cool. But I did see that. So, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're going to get some jersey switching that'll happen along the way. So, kind of be careful of that a little bit. All right, time for your weekend headlines. How you doing there, Gibbe?
It's been a day. G-Man's
Where is he?
Gallivanting. He's moving. He's adulting. He's now an adult.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I grew up, it's well documented, I grew up in Montana. I've lived in the state of Ohio since 2007. So I'm familiar with cold, okay? I'm going to tell you that what I experienced Saturday at Cedar Point was as cold as I've been, in large part because of a lack of preparedness. So the apps were saying, 49 to 52.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. So for me, that's pants. It's a hoodie. It's a layer, and it's like a quilted vest is usually what that temperature is for me. That's what that temperature means. But here's the thing that they didn't tell you, that the sun, and I was up there from 9 and I got home at 9:50. I was there by 9 a.m. Saturday morning. We got home at 9:15 Saturday night, and then we did it all again on Sunday. So we were up there both days. It was probably 45, 46, but the wind was blowing 15 to 20 miles an hour off the lake, and for about 3 hours straight, it was just a steady mist. So it wasn't a rain like a soaker, but it was a mist soaker. It would be like if you've been in like hot climates like in Arizona, in Southern California, where they have the misters that are like in the like in the outdoor malls and stuff. Those things.
Getting attacked,
little mist on you. It feels nice. It was like that for 3 hours and 46 degrees with a 15-mile-an-hour wind. Miserable.
Ugh.
Miserable.
That's terrible.
Miserable.
That's so biting
Awful.
cold.
It was so bad. And then I was prepared on Sunday, and it was fine. But I was like, okay.
By Sunday afternoon, yesterday, by the evening, it was a nice day. And then
up there it
nice.
wasn't. Up there it was gross. It was 50 all the way to 6 o'clock last night. But it was funny. Like as soon as I got on to head back, like then all of a sudden, like I got home and it was 63 degrees and sunny, and I'm like, what? Where was this? Where was this all weekend? And that pocket was brutal.
By the way, it's just today. So today, I hope you enjoyed it. And then
it's cool.
We're gonna be 40 by Saturday again.
I know we have lax.
Have we had this?
Town, so.
Have we had this before?
I told you that the guy reached out to me who's an insurance adjuster, and this is the most extreme weather that he's been doing it for 20 years. Most extreme weather he could ever recall in the state of Ohio. More claims than he's ever had. And he said coming off of last year where we had a really mild winter by comparison.
Yeah.
This combination of winter and then this type of spring where it's just been rain and cold and just. I mean, how many days like this have there been?
We had to turn the heat on last night again.
Yeah, I mean, you're constantly air conditioning heat.
This is ridiculous.
Yo-yoing it.
This shirt used to be blue.
I don't even know. Like
it's been brutal. We haven't had many days like this, like 70 degrees and sunny.
I think it should become like
not many.
If the winters are like this going forward, it should just become like a rule. That you see that there's going to be one day that's 70 and sunny in a week, and everything else is garbage. All work is canceled.
I don't think it's a bad idea. Like the whole state. We'll make it. Like I'll give you a Saturday down the road that's garbage.
I do this Saturday. You say, okay, you can't take this Monday off. Everybody go
live,
play golf, live, and then you got to work this Saturday when it's 40 and
We did.
Yeah, you.
And we're
Well,
still
we
here.
did that. We were Saturday, and
We're still here.
Your boy got on there on Sunday, and we're not done. We got another show tonight.
That's right.
To remind you guys, the Cleveland Browns Draft Review
There you
Show,
go.
all along the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network. Is that presented by Huntington Bank? I
It
believe?
is.
Yeah, how about that?
It is. How about that? How about that? We might need to get our boy Z a little downtime.
It's been a lot.
I think he's
a lot of
cracking.
talking. A lot of
I'm
talking
not
for the
cracking.
kid.
I'm thriving.
He's thriving. Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys, it's that weekend's a lot going
It's a
on.
lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
You want a little
Jimmy
weekend?
Bang Bang says, you boys are getting soft, and it's April. I remember plenty of 59-degree gray days in May. 59 and gray I'm fine with. It's this 40s.
I'd like
Yeah,
to sign up
40s.
for 59.
Yeah, we haven't
59
had
and sign me
59 in
up.
gray. No.
Me and Jimmy are going to be
Hey,
out
hey
there
Jimmy
chasing-
Bang Bang. I remember also, like, every once in a while, a St. Patrick's Day that was 72 and sunny.
That's right.
80 a few
We haven't
years
had
ago.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Jimmy Bang Bang and I are going to be chasing the small ball around on Saturday. It's real feel 41 right now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy's like, "Hey, we playing golf this weekend?" I go,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Am I gonna be required to wear multiple layers?
I'm going to be in.
I might be out.
I'm going to be ensconced in fur.
We have Lax Fest this weekend in Hudson, so like that's going to be as long as it doesn't pour, because last year we had to cancel.
I was gonna say, wasn't there severe weather last year?
It was, yeah, it was really severe. So it sounds like it's going to rain middle of the week, and fingers crossed. If it's
Think
cool,
you're
it's
good by
fine
Friday.
as long as you're not
On
underwater.
rain.
That's
Yeah.
the real problem.
I think
That's
you're
your real
fine
problem.
once we get through Thursday.
Now, what are your responsibilities for that? Have you
I'm like the
been-
mayor.
Huh?
I'm like the mayor of town. I welcome people when the teams come to town. I welcome them, point
Okay.
them to good places to eat, entertain. I'm kidding.
You're like
No,
a
my wife does all
concierge?
of it. I
You're
don't.
good at
she's
that.
Well,
she's on. My wife's on that committee. I
I
can't.
figured she would volunteer you.
Yeah, well, I'm
Like,
sure I'll
that's-
be doing some
you
things.
get volunteered
Yeah.
for obligations.
I'm sure I'll have some obligations, but she does the heavy lifting on the Lax Fest. That's her cup of tea. Yeah, I'm just supportive, proud husband.
There you go.
That's all.
Good for you.
Do what I can do. Do what I can do. Yep, for the people. It's for the people. For the
For
kids.
for the kids.
For the kids.
It's like George Mirasan
Come
said,
on.
score one for the kids.
It's a great read. Great line read out of George.
Oh, so good.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
All right, let's get to a few weekend headlines. I mentioned Isaiah Bond switching his number. Also within the past hour, PFT is reporting the Browns are signing fullback Michael Burton.
All right.
Burton, 34, spent the past 2 seasons in Denver.
Yeah, vet. Denver, Philly, maybe at one point in
He's
his
a
career.
core special teams player, seeing action on 62% of the Broncos' special team snaps last year.
And he's a fullback. He is a true blue fullback, and
147 games, 6 different teams.
our beat, which loves to talk fullbacks.
Oh, they love it.
Somehow in the middle of the draft presser brought up fullbacks, and then it got into is Aiden Huntington a fullback and with Munkin, and it was hilarious because AB was in here with me. He's like, "Why in the world is he talking about Aiden Huntington right now?" And I said, "They asked about fullbacks." He's like, "Fullbacks? It's a draft." But people love to talk
They love 'em.
fullback.
Speaking of the NFL draft, as we continue to unwind from draft weekend, which one of the following quarterbacks will end up with the most productive NFL career?
All right.
Carson Beck in Arizona, Drew Aller in Pittsburgh. We haven't gotten to that yet. Almost at the end of the draft, I think the third to last pick, Garrett Nussmeier to Kansas City, or free agent signee Diego Pavia to Baltimore.
No, Pavi's not going to do anything.
People are saying that they think it's rude that the Ravens invited him to their mini camp and not their full camp.
Well, here's what's funny about all of this. If you go back 2 years ago, Carson Beck was mocked as the number one player off the board 2 years ago, coming out of his second to last season at Georgia. He was the number one pick. Actually, Shedeur was 2. So in him and Shedeur in that draft, in most of the mocks that I saw. Last year at this time, Drew Aller was like in the teens first round mock, the kid from Medina. We can get into that in just a second. And then Garrett Nussmeier was mocked incredibly high, top 10 or 12, top 10 for sure. I want to say he was mocked to the Saints last year by a lot of people, and all those way too early. By the way, Cade Klubnik was mocked 4 overall to the Jets on PFFs last year. He ends up with the Jets, but in the 4th round. So, like, buyer beware on the quarterback stuff. Like you just have no clue how these guys are going to develop. So I see Arch putting all the going at the top of all these boards.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Not Daniel Jeremiah's today.
What did he? What did he have?
DJ had the kid from Oregon,
Dante
Moore. Yeah. I mean, Sayan will be in the mix there. Dante will be in the mix. I mean, it should be really good, but we'll see. The surest thing is going to be the kid who plays receiver at Ohio State. All right, to your question, which of these guys most productive?
Yes, sir.
Well, I would say Drew Aller's going to get a heck of a shot to be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2 years. If he could,
what happened to Will Howard?
Well, I think them picking him in the 3rd round tells you all you need to know about what that management thinks of Will.
Not much.
Not much. And it's a tough spot for Drew in that Will is incredibly popular. I saw one of the stations over in Pittsburgh today did a kind of a quick fan poll of like, which do you prefer, Will Howard or Drew Aller? And it was Will winning, like at the time this morning, 52% to 48 was kind of the way that poll was going. Will Howard's incredibly popular over there in Pittsburgh. And I mean, he's a rah-rah guy, all of those things. I just put yourself, like the Allers have had season tickets here for a long time. Buddy of mine shares tickets with them.
Yep.
I mean, what a odd thing. Like, you're so thrilled for your son, obviously. Like, your son got drafted in the NFL. My God. Just think about all of that. Like, forget the injury he has got an ACL injury, all these things, all this adversity at Penn State.
Yep.
And this is a Cleveland kid who is drafted in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. Like, what an incredible accomplishment that is for him to deliver on all of that promise, and was a really good player at Penn State. But then there's also this thing where, like, your whole life you hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now you love them.
I mean, you could tell it was hard for him to put that hat on. He's just like, of all the places.
Right. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even if it was the Ravens, you could talk yourself into, well, at least there is some lineage to the original Cleveland Browns.
Sure. I was just going to say, you could even make the case, like, okay, the Bengals.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe
anywhere
the
but
Ravens, I can't, anywhere but that stupid place.
Yeah, but and then it's crazy because fan is short for fanatic, and then that separates, and then you become a parent and a kid, and you're like, my God, I'm in the NFL. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, Super Bowls, all this stuff, all of those things, and great nachos, terrible sandwiches. Drew, don't eat those over there. Anytime
eat them. Fine.
Slaw and fries and nonsense and mystery meat on a sandwich, steer away from that. No, he's in Ohio. We got to protect him a little bit. I'm still looking out for him.
Okay.
A little bit over there. So I would say Drew. I mean, to me, it looks like one more year of Rodgers over there, and then it's up to Drew and Will to make them think they don't need to draft another quarterback next year.
Beck is going to have the most immediate opportunity to play.
I just think it's a tough spot.
I don't know what.
You got Mikey LaFleur. You got Jeremiah Love to hand the ball off to. You've got Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. I mean,
yeah, that's true. They got some weapons. Isn't Algiers there too?
Tyler Algier is there as well. Yeah.
What? That guy's got bad luck because I think he's productive, but then everybody drafts running backs.
He's super productive, but he's kind of like he's the power complement. He's the guy that makes sometimes fantasy owners get unhappy.
Yeah, he robs those scores.
But I think Atlanta ended up bringing in like Brian Robinson.
Oh, so he'll do that
to be that guy. Yeah.
Beck, you're right. Beck's living in the desert, so he's made multiple millions the last 2 years playing college quarterback. He had Ferraris at the University of Miami. He was dating one of those Cavender girls, and I mean, he's living his best life.
Yeah.
At the University of Miami. So, yeah, he's probably got it best. But in terms of setup for long-term success, I think Aller's set up pretty good in Pittsburgh.
The Nussmeier acquisition right at the end of the draft is fascinating. What are you thinking if you're Justin Fields? Are you threatened by him?
Justin Fields is there, I think, for two reasons. Number one, for him, you're hoping to get some type of a quarterback finishing school, and then you are going to go somewhere else and play somewhere else. I also think that he could be utilized by Andy Reid because he is such a threat in the red zone.
Yeah.
Now, you take Patrick Mahomes off the field and it doesn't go well. I don't think people are going to be very pleased with you.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a world in which, he's got some packages, at least early in the season as Mahomes is coming back. Nussmeier, they're hoping they can groom into a backup quarterback that's on a late rookie deal for the next 3 years after this one.
Yeah, and I think he'll probably be able to do that. His dad was a coach. His dad was a really nice player, and so I'm sure he would fall in right in line with that. I could see Andy Reid putting Fields and Mahomes on the field at the same time.
Totally. And doing some
in the red zone, doing some
things we
trickery.
never even seen before.
Yeah. I think that's in play there. So, yeah, the Pavia one is kind of a lesson in if you're marginal physically, then you have to do all the things right. Personality.
The league just doesn't bet on outliers.
No.
Repeatedly.
And then if they were going to, then you need to do all of the little stuff perfect, and he didn't. So.
It's the poster child
Some people
for
can be
stay
great
in
college
school and make
quarterbacks.
as much as you
Dude,
can.
and
that's okay.
And he's the best example of someone who maxed out. Like, he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
In the old system, he wouldn't be. He'd be trying to knock around. Now, if he's smart with his money and he's always going to have a lot of juice in Nashville, which is a great place to have juice.
Great.
Like,
It's a wonderful
yeah,
place.
I mean, he's in a good spot because of NIL. Like, he is certainly a success story of NIL.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
And he deserves it if that's what the system's set up for.
Yeah, of course.
Took Vanderbilt to the most prominence it's had in football since what? Since the days of Jay Cutler?
Yeah, even more so than Cutler. I think with Cutler, they were only ranked. Well, I know this because I was the one that got him into the AP Top 25 poll for the first time in the history of their program.
Humble brag.
I voted him in. I was the first vote that they got, and they put him into the top 25 of the AP. So then they lost the next week, and I looked like a fool with Smoking Jay, but that did happen.
Smoking Jay.
That did happen.
All right, we spent a lot of time talking about the NFL draft. We will get back to the NFL draft as we hear from our new players coming up in just a minute. But the Cavaliers, rough weekend.
You're up
2-0. Now it's 2-2.
They lost a game in which the other team, at least for the majority of the game, was shooting like 20% from the floor.
Well, when your two stars combined for 22 turnovers.
When did this game take place? I know it was Sunday.
Yesterday,
what time?
1 o'clock. It was actually on ESPN.
1 o'clock on a Sunday. What an odd time.
Yeah, the Browns picked some shrimp. People were like, oh, Cleveland teams aren't good at 1 o'clock on Sundays.
Jeez. Why are we taking shrapnel?
Say it while you can, because this is a loaded class. We're back.
Don't ask the girl for playoff tickets.
No, you're not getting them.
Maybe we aren't either. Who knows?
Just wake me up when it's a game that'll decide a series.
This is a pretty big game on Wednesday.
I don't know. I feel like they'll win it, and then it'll go back to Toronto, and then
you need to win it though. I think you want to win this game.
Well, sure, yeah. And then here's the other thing. And this is a 30,000-foot Cav take. I'm not watching all these games the way that I used to with all this stuff. I just don't have the time for it anymore. But like this group, this Cavalier run, like this post LeBron, Donovan, Garland, Mobley, Allen, and now Harden run, which is, what is this, like 5-6 years? How long has this been going on? It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's probably, and you lived it, so I'm sure you're going to take great offense to this, but it's probably similar in terms of wins to like the Darty, Price, Harper era.
Those teams got to conference finals.
How many times? Once, I think.
Once?
I think only once.
I
could be wrong. You would know, but because that was Celtics, Pistons. That's the late 80s.
And Bulls.
And then the Bulls came in, and when Jordan beat them, that was a first round series. That wasn't the Eastern Conference Finals.
The shot.
Like, how many times did they get into the Eastern Conference Finals? That group. I thought it was just one. I thought maybe Boston beat them.
One still would be more at this point.
It would be, yeah, it would be. But I guess my point of this is because you were coming out of dozen or so years of LeBron James, where every time you took the court, you say, well, let's go win a championship. And then he delivered on one. It's almost like this group is being held to like that type of standard. Now, they've had a billion injuries, but I guess my point is I would still view this is not going to be a championship team, clearly. But I don't think you're entitled to that. They've been in the mix. They put good teams together. They've had some injury stuff that's haunted them in the postseason at the wrong times. But this has still been an incredibly successful run of basketball.
Yep.
You're not entitled to championships. They're really hard.
Yep.
How many you got? You got it, Gibbe?
No, actually. All right. Here we go. I got it now. I think
I have it right.
Yeah, the Cavs went back-to-back Eastern Conference semis in 92-93, 91-92. Otherwise, they lost in the first round in 88, 89, 90, 94, 95, 96.
And look how they are romanticized.
You had it, boy.
I had it.
Yeah.
They're romanticized as if
57 and 25.
they're
twice.
They're romanticized as if they're the Bernie Browns that got to the precipice of the Super Bowl twice. They didn't. They got to one conference final. They got beat by the Bulls 4-2 in 1992.
Yes, they made one. Okay.
They made one conference final.
We're waiting
That's
for this.
it.
We're waiting for this group to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of it's about the same winning. The difference is the way we view them versus the way we view you. I didn't view those Cavs anyway, the way you viewed those Cavs, because you're coming off of Ted Stepien and just garbage, and then all of a sudden this fun team comes out of nowhere, Miracle Richfield, all this stuff, Darty, Price, Elo, all of it. It's all happening, and you're like, God, this is so much fun. But, like, you weren't contenders. You weren't. You think you were because in your mind eye you were, but you really weren't. You weren't getting by those Celtics, the Pistons, or the Bulls.
Yeah.
We did. I believe we did end Larry Bird's career.
Well, I remember him on the ground, face down. Or was that Chuck Person? I think Chuck Person. Did the Cavs get him too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember him with the back. Whatever year that was. Was that the year? Was that 92?
So, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't get by the Bulls. That was the biggest.
But even if they had, the Pistons and Celtics were waiting. Like they didn't. It was only one time against the Bulls.
It's wild.
In all of that. And the 92 Cavs, I don't even. Is that who's still on that team? 91, 92. They went 57 and 25 with Lenny, of course. And this is not, just to be abundantly clear, because I know people get so bent out of shape about I'm not disparaging them. I'm just saying the difference is the way we view them versus the way we view these guys because of the LeBron experience. We view them entirely differently because of that.
This team also needs to have
Dirty Price, Nance.
Losing to Indiana last year.
Ron Harper wasn't even on that team.
Losing to Indiana last year felt awful. Indiana went on and they got lucky. What was that?
They need dogs, and they don't have them.
Maybe not. But I think we just hold teams we hold them to a different standard because of the LeBron effect.
I also think this year in particular, you were saying to yourself, okay, the Pacers, who are very good, no Halliburton, they're garbage. The Knicks aren't that great, and they're in a dogfight themselves right now.
Yes.
And then you're talking about a Celtics team that didn't have Tatum all year. Now, Tatum is back and is playing very well.
Which is crazy.
And the Celtics look really, really good right now. They look like the class of the East.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just felt like this was the year, if this was the year where you're going to say, okay, all right, we're going to be able to make a hay here.
I agree with you 1,000% on that. That this with all of the factors that you just mentioned, you started this season go, all right, minimum requirement, get to a conference final.
Yeah, this is the year.
And so this would be the first time where it would, to me, where I'd be like, okay, that's a fail if it stops short
now
of
listen,
that.
it might end up still being, I do think they will dispatch of the Toronto Raptors. There's a good chance you get the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
You might go, play the 5 seed, 8 seed. Now, the Magic right now feel a little scarier to me than now that they're fully healthy and Wagner's back and Paolo's playing well and Bane's playing well and Suggs and Carter, and they've got 3 dudes off the bench who can kind of get irrationally hot and contribute. They seem more dangerous than the Pistons. I mean, they just took it to the Pistons bigly.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they lead 2-1. Did you saw LeBron's play on Friday night?
He's the guy's. I can't admit it. He's
no
Reeves.
No, I did the other day.
No Luka.
I did shout him out.
He's chasing down Reed Shepherd, tipping it out, and then getting a 3 to send it to overtime, and then winning at 41.
Yeah.
Stop.
When is he expected to get Reeves and Doncic back?
So I guess Luka warmed up yesterday, and Reeves was a late scratch. I think what they're praying is
they can win the series
without him and then get an extended rest. But then they're cooked because then they get Oklahoma City and they got no chance. So
yeah,
I don't know. I said it last week on Weekend Headlines. It's really impressive what he's doing.
It is.
I don't know what that recovery has to do to be able to even get out of bed the next morning.
Just something just came across Twitter real quick, or X, that I wanted to bring your attention. So Jory Epstein, who works we met her at the Combine with Mr. Siciliano, works with her at Yahoo, has written an article that I just retweeted that says, I spent round 1 inside the Browns draft room where trade calls kept coming. We got to chat with her. I didn't know she was in there.
She was. I accidentally bumped into her and was.
How about that?
Well,
told not to Say a word about it.
How about it?
How about it?
You said, what did she say?
I bumped into her Thursday night.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what are you doing up here?
She's like, top
She's
secret.
like, research. I'm like, got it. All right.
Holy cow. Speaking of the NFL draft, Thursday night, 13.2 million just on the ESPN family of networks. Third most watched round one ever. 13.2 million viewers.
Dude, this is
God.
So that's going to beat, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be speaking out to her, but that's going to beat the NBA Finals. That'll beat the World Series for sure.
Probably the World Series actually did better last year because with the Ohtani effect. So I think last year the World Series was in like the 19s.
Oh.
Towards the end it was. The finals last year weren't there. About the only thing that does better than that is massive college football
college
games
football.
and college football playoffs and then NFL.
Yep.
NFL actual games.
I mean, that's wild.
But that doesn't even factor in the NFL Network coverage. That's only the ESPN, I would think, although they are.
Yeah.
Oh no, it does include the NFL Network. It does include the NFL Network.
Last year's average was 10.2 million for the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Game 7 drew 16.4, but overall
not. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy to be able to do that the way that the NFL does. So.
All right, those are your weekend headlines, gents.
Good job out of you, Gibby. We're going to hear from some of our picks coming up next.
We are.
All right, you're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Motorcycle accident caused your injury. Call the injury lawyers at 1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case review. Elk and Elk, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Let's hear from some of our draft picks over the last couple of days this weekend. Let's start with Denzel Boston and how he thinks he and KC can help the receiving corps.
Yeah, I think with the duo that we just got, I think that with us, with being able, both of us can take the top off, both of us can make plays in the red zone, and also, we both got a little bit of yak on us. I think that with all that together, I think we're going to be able to change a lot when it comes to that.
Was that on with you guys when Siciliano asked him about the David Boston, Mike Greenberg mix-up, or was that – I saw that clip.
Or did we talk about it right after we got off the phone with him?
No, Andrew asked him about it. I heard the audio of Andrew.
Then it had to be on our draft show.
So it had to be on the draft show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But you guys have so many things going on. But
Yes.
I saw that clip somewhere else, not from us, of Andrew asking him about it and him saying, like, my pops can't get no credit.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
He's like,
And then we
pops
gave
can't-
him his
Yeah,
we gave
yeah.
his dad's name and everything.
Yeah. So how do you think that
Insane.
happened?
Insanity. That's the only thing I can think. I mean, that's crazy. How could Mike Greenberg
How could
on
Mike
ESPN
Greenberg
have
on
that?
ESPN on the draft say that so confidently? How do you think that happened?
Because he just believed it to be true.
So that's what I think. I think it was a little bit like Marilyn Manson is the guy from the Wonder Years, Paul from
Sorvino.
the Wonders. Yeah.
Is that his name?
His name's Josh Saviano.
Yes, that guy.
But Paul from the Wonder Years
Yes.
became.
Is Paul Sorvino?
Which, by the way, I was at a Jewish wedding and Josh Saviano and I were on a chair. Each one of us.
Oh, one of
I
the
have a picture of
legs,
us doing this.
yeah. And the
in
horror.
Montclair, New Jersey. We were doing this, and I get a picture with me and
Paul
him.
Sorvino that Mia Sorvino's
Yes.
father?
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's the Don in Goodfellas.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I thought that was very funny. And then I was curious, like, because you guys, we've all been in that spot where you're like hosting something like that, and things are coming fast. So it was one of two things. It was either Paul from the Wonder Years is Marilyn Manson, and he just heard it and he believed it.
You heard it.
Believed it.
Yep.
And I think that's most likely. I don't think a producer would hand him something that says
No
that. No
way. No,
so I
he
think
just
he
believed
just
it.
believed it.
Yes.
Someone had told him it, and he believed it.
He believed the urban legend because, and then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Man, we're old. We got David Boston's kid." I'm like, "That is not David Boston's kid. Not related
There
to
is-
him in any way, shape, or form."
Doing what I do in the morning, there is zero chance that would have happened and me not be aware of it, considering Ohio State played in Seattle this year, and we talked about him a lot.
Yep.
Would have been pretty aware if David Boston's kid played for the University of Washington. So that was that. I thought that was a funny. That was a funny.
Yeah, that
line
was a
right there.
moment.
All right, here is Emmanuel McNeil Warren on his emotions having to wait as long as he did.
Just a bit high, but a little bit. I was just thankful for God. God got me in position just to be in this position because nobody else to be in this. So I'm just thankful for him and just all the hard work and dedication that I've been putting through. Even when I got hurt my senior year, my junior year on my shoulder, all the hard work coming back on that field with my brother, just being happy to be out there again, just hearing my name called.
I thought Kat Hickman had a great press conference kind of describing his attributes when she was talking about that on Friday night, which was really cool to hear. So this is an easy guy to root for. Here he is on his biggest attributes.
I say I'm all three. So I say anyway, I'm a playmaker. So just being all three me, I'm a playmaker. I'm going to just go to that ball. Wherever I see the ball at, I'm going to go to that ball. So being able to do that at Cleveland Browns just help us win. So
Love it. She actually did a great job in here with us as well on the draft night, on the draft show. And she was beaming. I'm serious. They were like they could not believe almost how things worked out for them.
It was a surreal Friday night because it
really was.
I've got access to the internal stuff.
Yeah.
So I know a couple picks in advance. Thursday night was a complete mess.
Yeah.
Because of like
he
only
was
8
3
minutes
picks
per
behind.
pick.
Yeah.
Like the discrep was almost 5 or 6 picks. It
Yeah.
was like, okay, we're going to have to rethink how this goes going forward. But you're watching. Zagura keeps turning around and looking at me through the glass, and I'm like, still there. Like
Yeah.
for Denzel. And then you just kept waiting for McNeil Warren to go. And he doesn't go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, is it the McCoy kid from Tennessee that fell too?
He went all the way to like the 4th round.
Yeah,
I
he's
think.
falling.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
This guy's going, and this guy, okay, here comes a run on guards. And you're like, okay, at some point, you got to come back up.
Yeah.
that Nathan, we had Glenn Cook in here. We had Catherine. We had Kat in here. And Nathan's just like, when are we coming back up?
Right.
When can we go back up?
Let's
we need
go.
to go back up.
Let's go.
My hunch is, having done those type of things before, is sometimes you guys forget you're even on the radio because you're just in the moment of it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just reacting
We're just having
to what's
a good
happening
time.
and having a good time.
I
and
literally ran in and yelled at the guys to not go to break. That
Yeah.
we had made a trade. I forgot where I was.
I mean, so there was a kid from San Diego State, was the only non-Power 4 in the first round. Everybody else was Power 5. Now, a lot of them had started group of 6 or whatever it is now. I'm going to tell you what, like Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the likes of a senior MAC player with a first-round grade, he's going the way of the dodo bird. Those guys are going to end up at Ohio State. He is the last.
One of the last few.
You're not going to see this. Just for perspective, think of this. Last year, Ohio State had 14 drafted players. 12 of them were recruited to Columbus out of high school to be Buckeyes. 2 were transfers, Will Howard and Quinshon Judkins. This year, they had 11 players drafted. 5 were recruited out of high school to be Buckeyes and were developed there entirely. 6 started somewhere else. It's changed.
Oh, completely.
Free agency.
Yeah, it's NIL and free transfer and all of it. So, like, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, you won't see that again. You're not going to see somebody with a first-round grade playing their entire career at a MAC school. You're just not going to see it. So he's kind of the last of that group. Let's have one more. Kev, you have the one from Taylor Green?
Yes, I do.
Let's go with that one.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what you said, my size and my athletic ability, my arm strength and, just my versatility that I believe that I'm bringing to the quarterback room. Like you said, it's a deep quarterback room, and, I'm just excited to compete and get out there and to learn, learn from, they got experience, or a lot of experience, especially Sean in the NFL. So I'm going to be take everything in and, hit the ground running and just be excited and put my best foot forward and get to work.
It's going to be fun. Going to be fun getting a look at all these guys in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
All right, so much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. If car, truck, or motorcycle accident caused you injury, call the injury lawyers at 1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case for you. Elk and Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. And a reminder, be sure to catch the Browns Draft Review Show with Z and Ken. That's presented by Huntington Bank tonight, 7 to 8, University Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network. Browns General Manager Andrew Berry, play-by-play voice Andrew Siciliano will join the show. That is tonight from 7 to 8. You have something there, Gibbe?
Tony Dungy, Chris Sims, looking like Matthew Berry potentially as well. All out for Sunday Night Football. Mike Tomlin in. Can I get one thought?
Probably,
who else is in?
I think probably time. I thought that probably was getting a little stale. I never understood. I mean, Matthew got paid tremendously to go to NBC, but I never understood where what he does was going to properly justify the compensation. Because he's the talented Amaroto. And all of a sudden he wasn't doing baseball anymore, and he was just doing football. And like you can do that on ESPN where they have the fantasy shows every day. But where was that going to land on Sunday Night Football? I just never understood where that was going to go. And then he would show up at the Derby. It was just – I think Chris Sims is a loss for sure. I wonder, is he out – is he doing the college football still?
I don't know. It doesn't say. He made the announcement this morning on PFT and he said, I'm really hurt. Like they didn't really – ask or we didn't really talk about it, and all of a sudden I was just told I'm out.
Because he does the college football Saturday night show with Joshua Perry and Maria Taylor and all that.
So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's staying on that, but he's off the Sunday. The Sunday night one right now is just Maria Taylor, Devin McCourty, Jason Garrett, and Tomlin. And they're going to travel. They're going to be on the road every week.
I don't understand that.
I don't get that. Your boy Jack Collinsworth, not sure either. Future TBD. Same with Rodney Harrison. Like it looks like they might finally be purging the 20-person.
I can't see
show.
a scenario where Jack Collinsworth isn't employed there as long as his dad is.
That's right.
Yeah, agreed.
So
he'll go back to college.
Or even he could do that hit with Rod. So they're taking the whole studio show on the road.
That's right.
So then they got to have somebody in studio to do highlights because you can't do highlights on the road.
1 minute. It's gonna be odd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Tomlin will be quite good.
Tomlin will be very good. Yeah, I think that feels very good. Look, this is going to be fun. We're going to relive this draft all week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we're going to be reliving this one for a while.
Lot of fun ahead here, kids. Appreciate you joining us. That was Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly.